Hello, wizards, witches, and everyone in between. My name is Emma, and today I will be doing the Spring is Sprung book tag. So I was tagged to do this by Madison from Madison Green, and I will link her video down below as well as the original creator's video. So this tag is super cute. I was so happy to be tagged in it, and I definitely wanted to get it up before the end of spring. Let's just jump right in. Question number 1, flowers. All of the flowers we remember are blooming again. Pick a book that's a fresh take on a retelling. For this, I'm going to go with A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. I recently read this, actually. I finished it about a week ago, and I really enjoyed it. This was kind of a given answer to this question for me because I haven't read too many retellings. The main ones I've read are the Lunar Chronicles, and this is one of the few ones that isn't part of that series. That's a retelling that I've read, so I'm gonna go with this just because I know I've talked about the Lunar Chronicles a lot, but this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it follows a girl named Harper who has cerebral palsy, which this book has amazing disability rep, by the way, and she gets transported to this other world where there's this prince named Wren who is the beast, and it's nice because Wren has a kind of, it's unique. Him being the beast, it's different. The way he is, the way his curse works is different than like the Disney fairy tale movie I'm assuming most of us are familiar with. So it was different enough that I really enjoyed it, and the book, the chapters alternate, so it's dual perspective between Harper and Wren, which I also found really interesting, and yeah, I would definitely recommend this. Alright, next. Cadbury Mini Eggs, obviously the superior springtime candy of choice. That's false, those things are disgusting. Pick a book that you consider to be a sweet treat. So for this, I have to pick Starry Eyes by Jenn Bennett. This is also a recent read of mine. I fell in love with this story. It is so cute. I'm not a big fan of contemporary, so I don't read it that often, but this was so good and it kind of put me in a contemporary mood. This follows a girl who is very interested in stars, stargazing, star mapping, and she goes on this like camping hiking trip with some friends, and some stuff goes down and she ends up being stuck with her ex-boyfriend, and it has a lot of like adventure-y camping stuff, which I really love, all that kind of outdoorsy thing, so I really like that this was set mostly outside in like a hiking camping environment, and it's just really cute. It's really cute and sweet, so I really like it. Alright, next is Allergies. Seasonal allergies often make your eyes water. Pick a book that made you cry. For this, I'm going to go with Room by Emma Donoghue. I read this, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, and it's one of my all-time, excuse me, allergies. It's one of my all-time favorite books. I have nothing but good things to say about this. So this book follows the story of a 5-year-old boy named Jack who lives in Room with his mom. His mom was kidnapped and stuck in a room and sexually assaulted, and she had Jack. And so Jack has never lived outside of Room, and he has a very distorted way of thinking, and his mom is obviously trying to find a way out of the room, and it's so compelling, and I'm not gonna give away how it ends or anything, but there is just a couple scenes in there with his mom, you know, trying so hard to explain to Jack just basic things that us who aren't living in a room know about the world, and she's trying to get him to want to help her break out, and just the things she does for him, the games that she manages, the toys she manages to make for him out of things that are just in this room, and the all the suffering she's gone through. It made me cry. This book is so good, and it definitely has more of like a thriller aspect during the second half of it. But if you guys haven't read this, I would highly recommend it. So I absolutely love this book, and it definitely made me cry. Alright, Spring Cleaning. Out with the old and in with the new. Pick a book to unhaul. And for this, I am going to go with Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. I don't think I need to explain this. Recently on book Twitter, people have brought up the problematic aspects of Eleanor and Park. I was not aware of this. I read this, when did this come out? So this came out in 2013. I probably read it in 2013, and I didn't really notice these problematic aspects about this book at that time. And I have had no desire to reread it since, so it's just been sitting on my shelf, and after seeing the excerpts from the book and hearing what people are saying about it, I have no desire to keep it anymore. So I'm definitely going to unhaul this. Number 5, Spring Break. It's the perfect time for an adventure. Pick a book involving a road trip. So for this, I'm going to go with Paper Towns by John Green. This is probably my second favorite book of his, because there's some that I absolutely do not like. But I enjoyed this, and what sticks with me, because I read this a really long time ago, to be honest, so I don't really remember all that much about like the plot and what order it happens in, but I do remember like towards the end there's this road trip that they go on, I think the day of graduation, the main character and all of his friends, and I just remember them like driving forever. They had funny conversations in the car, they stopped to get gas and like loaded up on snacks, and I don't know, it reminded me of like if I piled in a car with my best friends and went on a road trip. I found it really enjoyable, that aspect of this book, and that's just like the first one that popped in my head when I thought of road trip. So this book follows a boy in high school named Quentin, and he has a weird like fascination with this girl named Margot, and she disappears, and so the whole road trip thing is them trying to find her, figure out where she is. And I wouldn't like super recommend this book per se. Quentin and his weird thing with Margot is just kind of creepy, to be honest, but I just really liked the road trip part, so that's what I'm gonna go with this, because that part was really enjoyable. Okay, number 6 is Mating Season. It's that time of year in the animal kingdom to make some babies. Pick a book with some smutty delights. I don't have any recommendations for this. I don't read books that have smutty delights in them. It's just not something that interests me, so I have nothing for this. Number 7 is Rainbows. I just feel like spring is made of freaking rainbows. Pick a book featuring LGBTQ+ characters. So I don't have the physical book with me because I read it from the library, but I'm going to have to go with Simon versus the Homosapiens Agenda. I'm sure you're all aware of this book, that it follows a boy named Simon who's in high school, and he is chatting online or IMing or whatever with this guy named Blue. His codename is Blue. And throughout the book, Simon's trying to figure out who Blue really is, and some stuff goes down, and he ends up like being outed to his high school, and it deals with him not being able to come out on his own terms in his own time. And it's just a really, really sweet book. One of my favorite contemporaries, and I just love Simon so much. Maybe that's why they named the movie that. Next is Spring Awakening. I realized I only wrote half the prompt down, but it was talking about like how the original creator, her favorite musical was Spring Awakening, and that has a bunch of dysfunctional characters. So pick a book with pick a book with completely dysfunctional characters. So for this, I'm going to go with The Glass Castle by Jeannette, and this is a memoir. So these dysfunctional characters are like real life dysfunctional people. But this book is the epitome of dysfunctional characters. So it's a memoir written by Jeannette about her childhood and her dysfunctional family, her dysfunctional dad, mom, just the crazy stuff she went through as a kid, and how her and her siblings got through it, where they're at now, and what her relationship is still like with the members of her family. It is, in my opinion, a very, very excellent book. And it's just crazy because I read this in college, and you're reading it and you feel like it's fiction. And then I kind of forgot that it was a memoir. And then at the end, I looked up on YouTube, like, videos, like interview videos with Jeannette talking about this book. And there was a video of her and her mom, and it's just crazy to see them like in real life after reading about all this crazy stuff that happened. So this is definitely, to me, like the definition of dysfunctional. All right, number 9. In Like a Lion, Out Like a Lamb. Pick a book series that didn't get better as it progressed. So there's a couple of these for me, but I think the one that stands out to me the most has to be The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. After this first book, it just kind of goes like this. Like, the second book is okay. It's like a C. This is an A+. The second one's a C, and I don't even know what the third one is. They're just... It's just so sad because I love this first one so much. It's one of my favorite YA books, and I just hate when that happens, when a series goes downhill after the first one. It's so annoying. So if you guys don't know, this follows Cassiopeia. People call her Cassie, and she is just living her life when this like alien invasion starts, and it comes in waves. And I don't distinctly remember like what each wave is, but I know like all the power went out, and then there was like a plague that swept and killed most people, and they're thinking that like one of the waves is that the aliens are already landed and they're posing as humans, so no one can trust each other. People are shooting at each other, not knowing whether or not the person they're killing is human or alien. It's a hot mess. It is completely compelling in my opinion, and I flew through this, and I'm definitely gonna reread this in the future, but just the first one. Alright, so the last one is Fun in the Sun, Tag Some Friends. So, I am doing 3 tags. I'm filming 3 tags like over the next week, and I won't be putting them up like consecutively, obviously. I'm gonna spread them out a little bit, but because I know I have 3 tags, I like rounded up a list of people I wanted to tag, and I just kind of divided them up between the 3 tags. So if you're not tagged in this one, be prepared to probably be tagged in one of the other 2. So for this tag, I am going to tag Bethany from Bethany's Book Nook, Carly from CarlyReads, and Avery from Averielovesbooks. Alright, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you later. Bye!